39% of the world is obese, and 60% of the US is overweight or obese. The reports show that it is going to get worse. By 2035, over half the world's population will be obese, and probably the remaining half will be overweight. On the other hand, millions of people in the United States are trying to lose weight. The number has escalated, and the demand for weight loss products, services, and education is estimated to be an incredible $34.3 million. Sadly, we're not seeing that much difference in weight loss, are we? Here's the good news. You can lose weight at a throwaway price. In fact, at no price at all. It's not the common thing you hear about weight. This is different, I promise. Do you need to lose weight? But first, let's find out, why do you know you need to start losing weight? Scientists will tell you that if your BMI is 25 and over, then you need to. But it is much easier than that. If you notice yourself adding some extra tires, then it calls for some weight loss experience. That's simple. The myths of weight loss. Our big problem is there are a lot of myths surrounding weight loss. It could be one of the main reasons why people are not losing weight as easily as they should. They say it's easy to add weight, but very difficult to lose it. Today's video will prove to you how easy it is to also lose weight. All you need to do is make a 20% effort to get 100% results. And it all starts with debunking this myth. Every time we want to work on losing weight, we're told to look at our diet, which is good, no dispute about that. Then we are told to remove certain kinds of foods, or at least reduce them. No dispute up to that point. Uncommon weight loss advice. Here's where things get interesting. You're told to get off fats because they will make you fat. And then they will target the proteins because they will make you add more weight. And they forget the real culprit, carbohydrates. Let's clear up some things first. Carbs are not bad. We all love our pasta, cakes, cookies, and the all-time favorite, pizzas. Yet, we cannot deny how much carbohydrates are overemphasized in our diet. Source of the problem. Nearly the whole world is consuming the standard American diet. It's a sad, sad reality. The sad diet comprises ultra-processed foods, potato chips, soft drinks, fast foods, and a lot of added sugars. All of these are carbohydrates. The diet often lacks fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins. If ever these are consumed, it is once in a while and in very minimal quantity. Plainly speaking, an average American plate consists of so much sugar: pizzas for breakfast, hamburgers for lunch, and potato chips for supper. Sort of extreme, but that is the truth in many homes. So what's the problem with carbohydrates? Why can't we just eat them in peace? Let's put on our detective glasses and get into what happens when we consume excessive amounts of carbs every single day. When you take carbohydrates like, let's say, fries, digestion is pretty easy. Most of the digestion, like 70%, happens in the mouth, and at that very early point, your body already has glucose to take in at will. The rest of the digestion continues in the small intestine, where they are also absorbed into the bloodstream. If you're taking excess carbs, the excessive glucose in the blood is taken to the liver, your project manager, and stores this glucose as glycogen for quick release glucose stores. Anytime you need some energy, it's there for your use. But the average person likes to sit down and take in some more carbs. The result is that the body has more glucose than it can use. So what does Mr. Liver do? Store the excess carbohydrates in fat. Before you know it, you're adding more weight than you can lose. You realize that exercise has a role in helping you keep your weight in check, but you need to first deal with the source of your weight gain before you can think of burning away those fats, right? Solution. What is the solution to the problem? Consuming the essential foods, which are not the normal foods you eat on a weight loss diet. Proteins, fiber, and yes, fat. Does that mean that we are getting rid of carbs? A little on that later, but let us concentrate on this. You have 3 essential foods to major in. Proteins, they are your building blocks. 50% of every membrane in your body is protein. And if you want to gain some muscles and have that summer body, proteins are your go-to food. Fibers, on the other hand, are the gastrointestinal sweepers. If your gastrointestinal tract is not swept every day, it will slow down. And if it slows down and doesn't work, the rest of the body doesn't work. The fiber part of the food is what has nutrients that nourish the rest of the body. Third and most controversial one is fats. We are all told not to eat fats because, well, they will make us fat, but we have it all wrong. This is why. First, 50% of each cell membrane of your body is fats. Your brain, on the other hand, is 70% fat, so naturally, it likes taking fats. There is such a thing as good fat. And yes, there is such a thing as taking fats for weight loss. Which good fats, you ask? Coconut oil. A story is told of an American farmer who wanted his cows to be fat, so he took coconut chips and fed them to his cows, hoping that would make them fatter. But something interesting happened. The cows lost their fat and started gaining muscle. Before he knew it, they were more muscular and active. The body literally burns coconut oil. If you want some extra fats off, you'd better consider coconut oil. But here's where everything comes together. We've talked about the 3 essential foods that we all need to eat for weight loss. The logical thing any person will ask is how they all work together for a fast, safe, and successful weight loss. The big 3 foods ensure that you don't supply the quick-release glucose stored, the normal glucose your body is used to getting at a high-carb diet. Therefore, the liver is forced to break down the fat stored in a process called gluconeogenesis to produce glucose. Fiber binds up the food and slowly releases glucose, so you don't have a surge of it. Proteins have a whole complex digestion in the fat, and lastly, fats coat food, making digestion take longer. Overall, there's a slow release of glucose in some way. This will control the availability of glucose in reasonable amounts. The good news is that you will not feel hungry, and the best result will be weight loss. What shall we do with the carbs? Discarding would be such a wise thing. We all love carbs somehow. Pasta, bread, rice, chips. They are sweet. The best thing to do is to discard the refined carbs, starting with what we all love to eat, refined sugar. Replace them with wholesome carbohydrates and carbs. What you will realize is carbohydrates are the negotiable food on your table. The extent you will negotiate their amount wholly rests on your weight, age, and health status. What will follow is the results. Evidence. Why are we that sure? Because there's evidence and we are backed up by not 1 or 2 people, but a whopping 11 million people who've benefited from this diet. Plus, it's a foolproof science that was done by none other than Dr. Robert Atkins. Atkins realized that he was putting on so much weight, so he decided to try an experiment on himself. It was quite simple. He removed carbohydrates with the exception of potatoes from his diet. Soon he started noticing significant weight loss. Being beside himself with excitement, he decided to try it on his patients. Guess what? They were noticing the same results. Weight loss. Well, more still came. Diabetic patients got off their drugs. Now, this was strange because the initial quest was weight loss. The best was yet to come. Cancer patients reported remission. Cancer cells feed on glucose at a very alarming level, like 15 times the glucose of any other cell in the body. Once their food, quick glucose, was reduced, they starved to death, thus the remission. The essence of this discovery is pretty simple. Close the running glucose tap before you start clearing up the mess it has left. What next? At this point, if you're done shifting to a better diet, taking up your exercise gear will be such a nice idea. Exercise is good and will help you get into shape after such a significant weight loss. And since we are not going to settle for less, how about giving you the real deal matters exercise? High-intensity interval training, or as we call it, HIIT. And if you want to go the extra mile, buy a rebounder. If you want instant evidence, look at the body difference between marathoners and sprinters. There's a big difference. Then a rebounder, because it is the one exercise type that will give you a stronger body, more muscles, and serious detox with the least amount of resistance. And you will agree, it's fun. There you have it, the perfect plan for weight loss and a fulfilling life. Let us know how this plan works for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.